Hello, and welcome to another episode of Manifest Actual Play. As you can all see, Dan has done something silly with his face. Moving on.
I
Before
was
we,
not mentioning it. You're the one who brought attention to it.
well, that's what I said about my hair.
Yeah, but
um,
our thing is different.
before we get into any recaps or anything like that, Addie, do we have any announcements?
Uh,
A bold question.
you'd think I would expect it every week. The dog just ran into my table. Anyway, exciting. Announcement. The dog just ran into my table. As every week, we remind you that if you love the content that we bring you and you want to support the stream, you can do that by hitting the follow and subscribe buttons on your Twitch application window thing here on this screen. And if you subscribe to us, all of the money that we receive goes back into the stream so we can do stuff like the art that you see, the character art somewhere on this level. Um, Also, we if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you included with your Amazon Prime is a month to month complimentary Twitch Prime subscription, which you can give to your favorite channel. Uh, you do have to, the catch is you do have to renew it every 30 days. So if you want to do that for us, we would love for you to do that. But you should do it to someone and support creators who bring you awesome content. So go onto your Twitch, your Twitch and use your Amazon account to get that cool monies coming to content live on the internet near you. The next announcement is
Oh, real quick to hop on that. It's September also, so all of your Twitch subscriptions you can get at reduced prices for the month of September.
Ooh.
So, like, if you've been on the
hey,
fence,
maybe Dan should do the announcements from now on.
click it. I dare you.
Great. Yes, so do that. We dare you. The next announcement is that our backer kit pre-orders are still open, though we think that they're probably not going to be open for too much longer. So if you want to get your hands on Manifest's core rulebook, head over to Backer Kit. You can search Manifest the RPG Backer Kit into your Google machine or wherever you like to search the internet from, and it will take you right to the place where you can order yours today.
I also dropped the link in the chat.
Ooh, you could do that too. Um, and over the past couple of months, we've been highlighting some of the causes and charities that mean a lot to us and can use your help in these trying times, either with your attention, your platform, your money, or your time. Uh, if you can, please donate uh, to any of the following. We're running a little short on time today, so I'm not going to do the whole blurb. But Black Mamas Matter.org is for Black support and advocacy for Black maternity, Black women going through maternity. Okay, I guess I am going to take a long time because I can't not. We've also got the Trevor Project that supports LGBTQ youth. We've got blacktrans.org, which also supports LGBTQ um, uh, people, mostly of color, but anyone can use them as a resource. And also trans specifically, it's a great resource for them. Also with the I don't want to mitigate it, but events happening in Kenosha, Wisconsin. There is a GoFundMe medical fund uh, for sorry. Oh no, I just did a thing. I'm gonna sneeze.
You gotta hear live.
The suspense is real. Um, uh, for the family members of and the victims of the shootings in Kenosha. Um, there are numerous other ones that we've gone through over the past month that I'm sure that I'm forgetting, as I don't have my list with me. But Tommy has thrown them in the chat previously, and go watch our backlog on YouTube. You can find those announcements there. And do we have any other announcements, Tommy?
We do. Remember last week when we dangled the updated Quick Start guide in front of all of you and said, this is coming soon? It's coming this week. The official release for it will be on Friday. So you'll be getting links to all that and a notification on Friday when it is ready for download. It will include a couple extra rules in the quick start guide, as well as a few more enemies for the GMs to use, and potentially most importantly, all of the pre-generated characters have leveling guides for up to level 9, which is a significant increase. It's all the way up to 100 XP. And then there's also 2 new characters. And you guys are going to hear it here first. It's an urbanite teacher and a militant trapper. Yeah. One of those backstories might be very similar to Kinsey's backstory, but I'll tell you right now, the character's stats are not like Kinsey's.
Good, that's probably for the best.
It is a different character, for sure.
Dumb as rocks.
But yeah, so get excited for that. That's going to be dropping this Friday, the 4th of September. Some stuff so that you can play some Manifest while you wait for the world to equalize in at least a tiny way to allow us to publish this the final core book.
And that will be going out to anybody who kickstarted at the $20 level or higher, and also will be going out to anyone who pre-ordered the Manifest core book, either digital or hard copy. So now's the perfect time to go and pre-order. I did it a second time, double tap. Okay. And that's all we've got for announcements for today, which I feel like there are a fair few, so I feel pretty good about that. Oh no.
All right, I was interacting with the chat. So,
Okay.
last thing before we jump into the recap, we have some cool character art and we got some cool music, and we're gonna look at that and transport ourselves into the world of Manifest. Let's check it out. All right. So, let's get into a little recap. Kinsey, Pax, and Roland have been in Tobias Station in the middle of the Badlands for some time now. It's been at least a few months. And they've had some adventure. They bought a bar. They bought a saloon. They've run it. It's doing a pretty good job. It's in the lower levels of Tobias Station. It's called Umbra's. It has a carnivorous tree in the corner behind some glass. Also has a jukebox, and it's very swanky, especially for the lower levels. And they've been kind of poking around, trying to, begin to lay the groundwork for eventually being the leaders of a revolution against the corrupt security captain and station master of Tobias Station. Part of their plan involved Pax going around in the vents of the lower levels, which are just very, very poorly maintained. They're actually full of a very toxic fungus, it looks like. And Pax was going around risking herself to kind of clean that area, branching out from the saloon first. And during her time cleaning, she discovered a dead body. And so after much contemplation as to exactly how to safely extract the dead body from the vents, they managed to get the body, close the saloon temporarily, and sort of do a little bit of an autopsy on this body. And with them was the street urchin, the 16-year-old street urchin, Harriet, or Harry. She seemed to recognize this body once some more. Basically, during the autopsy, he had some distinctive implants, an artificial lung, and some replaced ribs, and so she realized this was the body of a man named Ephraim. And she freaked out a little bit because Ephraim apparently was very close friends with a man named Salem Bahara. Salem Bahara is an agent of the Kanoum family, one of the various criminal families that operates in Tobias Station, as well as around Manifest. Kanoum is synonymous with organized crime in the Fort Dearborn territory. And Harry apparently considers Salem Bahara a friend, and felt the need to tell him that Ephraim was discovered, because apparently Ephraim was disappeared far north of Tobias Station in the Cloudbreak Mountains, presumed dead, as he is in fact a member of the militia for Fort Dearborn, a scout, and he was doing some pathfinding in the Cloudbreak Mountains, disappeared, and no one knew what happened to him. And it turns out he's way far south from there, dead in the vents of Tobias Station. In an effort to give them some time to formulate a plan, these three drifters convinced Harry to wait before she told Salem about Ephraim's body being discovered. It's the middle of the night, and Harry left the bar saying that you guys basically had a day before Salem Bahara arrives to presumably examine the body, collect the body. Who knows? She was unspecific. You don't know what will happen when Salem Bahara of the Kanoum family arrives in your saloon looking for the lost dead body of his dearest friend. But it's, things are a little tense. But that's where we left off, was around that time. The three of you are alone in the saloon, and Harry has left. You have a dead body that you did confirm was poisoned. Kinsey went and talked to Anton Granger, gave him a sample from Ephraim's body, and it turned out that Ephraim died of a man-made poison, not the toxic fungus that inhabits the vents. What do the four of you do now about the situation you're in?
Are you counting the body?
Yes. What are the three of you? What are the three of you and Ephraim? No. What are the three of you? What are the three of you?
Okay, hold on. I've got sunglasses. This can work.
Yeah. What are the three of you do?
We should close tomorrow, I think.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
For repairs.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. You know, a new place. Damages are bound to happen.
Burst pipe. If anyone asks, you say a pipe burst.
Absolutely.
Okay. I guess I don't. I would like to go talk to Roxy, and I don't feel great about leaving Ephraim here alone in case someone gets in.
Well, you're not talking to Roxy without Pax. They've got the relationship, so I can keep the corpse company. Gives me time to write the sign anyway, you know, closed for burst pipe.
Oh, I wrote a sign while we were talking.
Fair enough. I was going to practice, but it's okay.
This is not the time to practice. I'm proud of your efforts. This is not the time to practice.
I'm sorry, what are you going to talk to Roxy about?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people in the station now at sort of a surface level. I'm not going into the vent to do a deep sweep of where the body was found.
Yes.
And I don't know anyone else that I can talk to who might know more of this situation. This is the only thing I can think of to investigate further and have more information when a member of the Khanum family comes to our bar and we have his dead friend on a table.
That's fair enough. Say, did we ever figure out which family Grave Foster is attached to?
The Sheffields, I believe.
The Sheffields. Okay. All right. I don't know if that helps. It probably doesn't. All right. No. I'll keep the body company and make sure the tree doesn't eat it.
Is that a legitimate risk?
No. It can't move from the glass encasement, you know, unless you make it angry. But I'm just kidding. Okay, calm down.
Okay.
Just trying to keep the mood light.
It's hard to make jokes over a corpse. Valiant effort, though. Yeah, I'm gonna go get cleaned up and presentable and all that.
Okay, yeah. You're able to do that. You go into the back room, wash up a little bit, put on a clean set of clothes. It doesn't take much time. It does leave Pax and Kinsey alone with the body for at least a handful of minutes. And they sit in awkward silence. And then Roland, you return.
Okay, let's go.
Pax, you go with him?
Yeah, I come. Yeah, I don't. Sure.
Okay.
You don't have to if you don't want to. Like I've met Roxy. We're professionally acquainted.
No. I mean, I'll come with.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing about Roxy is that she's an agent for herself first. So like she's going to have information probably. But then she's going to want something.
That's what the 35 spurs I took out of the safe and the prepared threat I have are for.
Okay, but if you threaten her, I can't get my gun back.
You haven't been threatening people, right, then?
Okay.
The threat is in case. The threat, like my gun, is something I hope to never need to use, but must always have.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so the two of you go around the lower levels. Eventually, you're able to track down Roxy. There's just a few different saloons that she kind of haunts when she sets up her little shop. And the two of you walk in and approach. She's finishing a transaction with somebody. She takes a couple spurs and slides over this like kind of it's not quite a lockbox. It's like a hard case though, and it's like foggy, and there's like a slight glow inside it. And the guy like kind of snatches it and looks around and then leaves. She turns up and goes, "If it ain't my two favorite troublemakers, what do you want?"
Oh, it's nice to know one of your favorites. And then I put down 10 spurs. I would like to have a private conversation.
Okay. She takes the spurs and then looks around. The saloon's relatively empty, so she rolls up her supplies in the bags, slings it over her shoulder, gets the lockbox out from underneath her stool, collapses the stool, like just basically like breaks down her whole shop, and then like goes and like sets her bag down in like a rickety little booth in this. It's like the only booth in this saloon, and she like sets down. The table kind of wobbles, and she goes, "Don't worry, no one's gonna bother us."
Great. And I set down another 10 spurs. This conversation did not happen.
Her eyes like go like super wide. Go ahead and roll a manipulate test. I will give you. Actually, I think ultimately there's no modifier because there's a lot of reasons why she might give you negatives, but in this particular instance, the money has washed it out. So you get your normal bonuses. What like basically whatever your normal bonuses are.
Okay.
You are up against a 10.
God, I was trying to save grit. You make me roll dice when I'm trying to bribe people instead of rolling dice.
This roll will account for more throughout this scene.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I spend 2 grit to play to the gallery, so I can count this 15, which then explodes.
Woo.
Cool. I have 3 no-hits over 10.
Cool. She looks at she contemplates for like a second, and then like reaches out, puts her hands on the spurs, and she goes, "Okay," and slides it off into her other hand and like disappears it into some pockets.
Great. I would like to know everything you know about Salem Bahara and his good friend Ephraim.
She like squints for like a second, like it's like whatever she expected, this was not it. She looks genuinely like perplexed for a moment, and she goes, "Okay. Well, Salem Bahara, he works for the Kanoom family. He's actually really big in the Kanoom family. Don't let the fact that he doesn't have the family name trick you. He's a big player. He does do a lot of business in Tobias Station, mostly smuggling and the like. The people that work for him immediately, they do a lot of like, high stakes robberies and stuff like that. And then they move the product through various way stations, Tobias Station included. Ephraim, That's the straight laced militiaman that Bahara's friendly with. He went missing a few months back. I don't know what happened with him, but the two of them were tight knit. I mean, it's kind of uncommon for someone like that to have, I wouldn't say high ranking, but a ranking member of the militia. Considered close friends. I know it ruffled a lot of feathers, but
Whose feathers?
well, I mean everyone that, not I mean like not everyone, but like it was always just like a black mark on Bahara, right? Everyone knew that he was in with the militia, so you could only trust him so far, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But people always were a little skittish to do deals with him because he, who knows who's telling what. They tip off the militia about this, they tip off the militia about that. Anytime like a stash house got raided, or someone got caught by a marshal, there was always a little bit of rumblings if Bahar was ever in proximity to that business, but mostly unfounded from what I understand. I mean, I never met the guy, but people I talk to, they say he's a pretty stand-up guy. He's got that like family honor thing,
Sure.
If anything, he probably thinks he's just better than the rest of us because he has white hat friends.
Interesting. And Ephraim, to your knowledge, he was on the up and up, aside from being friends with Bahara.
Yeah, pretty much like that. That was the main problem, right? And, that guy was not crooked at all. I don't know what happened with him and Bahara to make them like so tight, but they just kind of, they were friends and I guess they didn't talk business. I don't know how their personal life worked or anything, but it was always a little always room for gossip when it comes to stuff like that. Why? I guess she like gestures to like the money. Am I allowed to ask questions?
Sure. You might not get answers.
Fair enough. Why are you asking about Bahara and this Ephraim fella? Oh, and she looks at Pax. She goes, "No, you're not a marshal, are you? No, you're not like you guys aren't investigating Ephraim's disappearance. Oh, come on."
No, that was a very funny guess. That's not it. Anything?
She like looks visibly relieved. She's like, "Oh thank God, I'm not sitting at a table with two marshals."
Anything notable that Ephraim did in Tobias Station?
No, I mean he didn't come through here too often. Mostly, when Salem was here, there was a decent chance Ephraim would show up. He passed through here from time to time on militia business, but like not really alone, with members of the company and whatnot. As far as I know, he just used it like most people use it, stop by, resupply, move on, that kind of thing. It was always hard to find work though, right? Around that time, because people were always worried, there's this.
Who wants to commit a crime while a detachment of militiamen are in town?
Yeah, well, and the fact that like, if he was there being like the eyes of Salem or something, I don't know. It was always weird. Everyone always got tense whenever Ephraim was around. But I mean, I guess it makes sense.
I lean over to Roland and I go, "Are you okay if I leave? I just got an idea."
Yeah, go.
Okay. And I'm just like, "See ya," like get up and I head out to an LRC station.
Was this something I said?
No, probably not. She'd say it to your face if it was something you said.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know what else you're looking for. I mean, that's what I know for the most part. Nothing untoward. I mean, I guess Then, if you're not militia, or if you're not marshals, who's what's Bahara to you?
He's a player in the station, and I like to know what their deal is.
Okay.
So Bahara, is he based here? The way you talk about him makes it seem like he's only here occasionally.
I mean, he's on the station now. Yeah, he's here. Doing business. Probably the upper crust. I don't know where he's staying, but he is in the station right now.
But this isn't his base of operations.
It's one of them. He's here more frequent than some other players. I mean, he ain't no Grey Foster, but he's here, you know, with some regularity as far as people who drift in and out go.
Anything else I should know about Mr. Bahara?
Yeah, I think I seen or heard, you guys, yeah, you got Harry working the bar, right? She's slinging drinks for you? Yeah, her and Salem are close. Harry's on her way to becoming a canoe, it seems like. That's the word. She impressed Bahara a year or two back, and since then, when he's here, he gives her work, and you know, she keeps performing well. He seems to think she's a good candidate for family business.
When did he get in this last time?
That I don't know off the top of my head. It's probably, I think it was like a few weeks ago he came in, maybe a week or two.
Great. Roxy, I say as I put 5 more spurs on the table, you've been extremely helpful.
I have? I mean, hey, you know, anytime. Anything you need to know. Roxy's here. She says, like, taking the 5 spurs without asking any more questions.
Great. I wasn't here. And I leave.
And she, like, sits there, like, as you leave, like, she just kind of, like, leans back and, like, is a little, like, it's like she almost deer in headlights, like, she doesn't really know exactly what happened, but she's really happy about it. Like, she's, like, kind of, like, has this, like, swell. She's like, hey, I need another drink.
Didn't even have to use all 35 spurs.
Yeah. Roxy will remember this. So before we get to you, Pax, Kinsey, you're in the saloon. Doors are shut.
Right.
Body's there. And there's a knock on the door. Well, first the door tries to open.
Sure.
It doesn't work, and then there's a dunk dunk dunk.
I disarm the trap that I had previously armed and answer the door. Just like, you know, keep the chain on, open it to crack.
Standing outside is the bushy beard, hunched figure of Eli. He goes,
Eli!
Hey, you guys closed? Can I come back? You told me to leave. There was a body or something?
No, Eli, I'm sure you're mistaken. I didn't know what you're talking about.
Well, you said I could go, you guys were going in the vents?
No, we had a pipe burst. I think you misheard.
Yeah, Kinsey, absolutely roll a manipulate test for me.
Do I get a bonus if I get him a drink first?
Yes, absolutely.
Hold on, just 1 second. I know you're one of our best customers, but can you just hold on 1 second? I can't let you inside. You know, it's a safety hazard. But let me get you a drink.
Oh, all right.
And I'll get like a rocks glass and fill it like halfway with whiskey.
Sure, you bring it back to him. You can have a +4 to this manipulate test.
Excellent. Perfect.
Do I have to be physically present in a scene to use motivational speaker?
You do.
Did you roll?
Oh, no. Yo, would you want to do any bamboozles or something?
I do want to bamboozle him 3 times.
Oh, my goodness.
I love this because, like, Eli certainly has low discipline.
Someone who's bad at lying, talking to someone who's bad at telling when he's being lied to.
I feel like I'm watching my kid's Little League game.
That's fucking funny. All right. Wish me luck on this one die. That's a hit.
I have a 2.
I've got a 7. That's perfect.
Working in the single digits here. We got there. Yeah. So you have 1 net success, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he takes the drink, and like as you like open the door, he is like trying to look in. He goes, "I don't see any water."
It's in the back. It happened in the kitchen, you know.
And he takes a drink and he goes, "If he's in the kitchen, then the bar's fine."
But I don't have anybody who can serve you, and it's about to leak into the bar. Can you just take the glass, bring it back? I know you'll be here tomorrow. We will be closed in the morning. We'll see about opening up in the evening, all right?
Okay, I can take the glass.
Just bring it back, all right?
All right.
I guess we've got plugged in, but still.
If I'm being honest, Ken, I'm a little clumsy. I cannot guarantee the safety of this glass. I can't promise that it will return intact.
I think we'll manage, Eli, then. But let's see. You know, let's see if you can make it. Do you want to give it a shot?
Sure. I mean, do I get another free drink if I bring it back?
If you bring it back, you can get 2.
Deal. And then he walks away, cupping the bottom of the cup with one hand. This cup is now his ticket to 2 free drinks.
I am pretty confident about this bet. I think it's going to pay off. So I close the door and lock it and go ahead and rearm the trap, and I'm going to sit at a bar stool with my pistol pointing at the door.
Okay. I immediately saw the Quentin Tarantino shot of that of that scene.
Definitely over the shoulder, you know, pointing at the door.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Pax, you said you were heading to an LRC tower.
Yeah. Yes. Whichever one is closest. It's pretty late, so I am not necessarily concerned about being seen or anything. So.
Okay. You're able to, yeah, I mean, you're able to pop by. The closest is probably the one that's not too far from the stables. Kind of nearby the post office outside the station. It's dark, but luckily it is a clear night, so the 2 moons and the asteroid belt are casting plenty of light down for you to find your way to the station in the shadows.
Yeah. So, are there personal terminals, ones without an operator? Use?
Almost all of them are in this area, because people are coming and going so fast. There's not like an operator.
Cool.
Operators are on the are inside.
Okay. So oh no, I would like to. Oh no. I don't have my character sheet up. I thought I did. I did not. Oh no. Everything is fine, everyone. I would like to pop in Miguel's
LRC tag?
LRC tag.
Okay. Yeah. So you slot in Miguel Reyes' LRC tag. And the LRC terminal lights up. You got, local news bulletins, stuff like that. There doesn't seem to be any personal correspondence, at least recent personal correspondence to Miguel Reyes, as he is deceased.
Yeah. And I would like to send a message to Marshall Yen.
Okay. What do you send to him?
Something along the lines of, I could use some info. I might have a lead on a missing person. What do you know about Ephraim something or other?
You actually don't.
give
You
me
don't know
info?
Ephraim's. You don't know Ephraim's last name.
Okay, so yeah, a militia member named Ephraim going missing in Fort Dearborn territory. Anything?
Okay, I do have to pause here. Apparently, Seth is in the witness protection program now. Seth, you may want to cycle your video because you are anonymous now.
Okay, that sounds terrifying. I'll recycle.
He's gone full hide behind.
He almost looks like a Renaissance painting, but when you look too closely,
Yeah,
right?
like the one that's like a lot of dots, but you got too close to it.
Yeah. All right, cool.
back.
You look great.
Alright, good.
Yeah. So you send that to him. Anything else?
Hope you're okay. And then I don't sign it.
Okay.
He's smart enough, and if he's not smart enough, then I don't have a crush on him anymore.
Cool. So yeah, you send that.
And then I wait for like 5 minutes to see if just something comes back. It doesn't.
Refresh. Refresh. It doesn't even get marked as seen. No, no, that doesn't happen. But you sit there for a second. You peruse a couple local news bulletins. Nothing crazy. It looks like there might be another rainstorm coming sometime soon. People, there's storms around the area, so it might hit this area. But you refresh a couple more times. No immediate response.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna head back to the bar. I'm just gonna head back to Umbros.
Okay. Roland, after you leave Roxy, where do you head?
Probably just back to the bar. I miss knowing people who mattered in the criminal underworld on a basis that I could just talk to them. Like, it was a tightrope of trying not to get killed and influence them in the direction that I wanted, but like, I don't know anyone here who I can just go and stir up shit and like hide in the down in the muck that I've stirred up.
Yeah, so Roland and Pax, you both meet up not too far from the saloon as you're heading back.
So what was your idea?
You are muted.
Oh, that's like just said that. I thought to reach out to Marshall Yen.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Huh. I did want to ask you something. Why are you hiding from Harry what your plan is? I want to stress, there's no judgment here. I just want to understand.
You mean the whole, like, the
Violent
whole thing?
revolution.
Sure, yeah. I was trying to be a little bit more obscure.
4 a.m. in the lower levels. You can say whatever down here.
No, I don't think that she would. I don't think she'd be into it. I think that the kids here are kind of programmed from pretty young to like how their system works. And she's got other kids who rely on her. And I think that the status quo is way better for her than, in her mind, than any trouble. She could lose what she has and have nothing. And so I think that's it. That's I don't think that she I don't think she trusts anybody, and so to come on super strong like that is like, you know, kind of gonna just push her away. I mean, that's what it would do to me, right? Like, we were literally chained together. That's how we became friends, if you remember. I wouldn't have actually trusted you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to point out, you did meet me after I had been arrested for a crime, which I think does make me seem less trustworthy than I do out of handcuffs.
Sure. But, like...
Not the point. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's... I will back that play if that's what you want to do. It does mean when it's go time, she will be upset.
Oh, no, I was just gonna wait to tell her till we knew what was gonna happen. Right now it's just sort of this amorphous, hey, we're gonna tip over your cup and let the water splash out all over the table, and then there's just a mess. Yeah, I took that all the way through.
It's a very good metaphor.
Yeah.
It's a very good metaphor for what we usually do.
But I guess, like, so, you know, once we kind of like have, once there's more information and it's not just chaos, I think that that's when I tell her. But we don't have a plan. We have a big plan, but we don't have any steps other than make friends, get a bar, ... revolution.
I have some
So-
things in the works, but I get it. I would try and avoid that topic coming up then. She's not a great read of people as my standards go, but she's not terrible.
No, she knows something's up, but I think she just thinks it's criminal activity rather than widespread social change.
Okay.
I mean, Kinsey's going to spill the beans at some point, and it's just going to happen, and I'm prepared.
He might not.
Wow.
I said might.
And then they open the door to Umbras.
Who walks in first?
God, it's I mean, honestly, I think it's Pax because it seems like you would be the type to just sort of be in front of me as a habit.
Yeah.
So Pax walks in first.
But I set up the trap, and I was just planning on jumping over it like I always do as I walk in.
If that's what you do,
yeah.
then I go, wait.
You've moved the trap, haven't you?
No. It's still there. Just don't walk in. Just be careful.
Did you put another trap?
No, you haven't walked in yet, so you don't. It's the same trap. Just be careful. And let me. You know what? Stop. I disarm the trap.
But I can hear you. I'm confused.
Because you just walked over it, right?
Yeah, here, Roland, give me your hands. I'll just pull you over it.
No,
Kinsey's
I've disarmed it. It's fine. You're safe. I just didn't want it to happen again.
Right.
Well, no, now I know there's a trap there, so I appreciate it. But, like, I don't forget things because I've looked away from them.
I think Kinsey's sort of insinuating that you're not going to make it. I'll just pull you over, and then everyone will be fine. Just jump towards me. Just jump towards me. I'll pull you over.
Trap safety with Kinsey McCharlotte. All right, you all make it into Umbras and shut the door.
You know what? I can't check any experience for that because it wasn't used successfully.
Well, the predator was evaded.
If I'm the predator.
No.
A lot of people. Yeah. So chat with Roxy went well, though I've learned less than I had hoped to. Bahara is something of a big deal within the Kanoom family. Primarily a smuggler. He's relatively frequently in Tobias Station, and he showed up in the station a few weeks ago. Ephraim, to my surprise, despite his friendship with a high-ranking member of the Kanoom family, is apparently a totally on-the-level militiaman.
Was.
Well, probably still is. Just because it's hard to be corrupt when you're dead.
I mean, fair enough.
I mean, I guess if you were corrupt, it's hard to get Basically, I think your state of corruptness maintains...
We get it.
past the end of life. Anyways. There's nothing notable about Ephraim other than his friendship with Bahara. Roxy didn't know of any, well-known incidents or enemies they had made, other than it generally rubbed people the wrong way that Bahara was friends with a militiaman who was not on the take.
So that means it could have been kind of anyone. I guess. Does he has his clothes like rotted away? Did we check his pockets?
They are a bit rotted away. You did. I glazed over it before. It was when you were collecting the body. I assumed that you would do something like that, and I said you found no identifying features or anything. It looks like everything's been emptied. It was only once you found his artificial lung that he was able to be identified.
Okay.
And about how long had he been dead, according to my readings?
It was a couple months.
Yeah. I think it's like been a handful of months.
Do we know about any jobs that were happening within the Kanoom family around that time? Did you?
I mean, a couple months ago, right? We were not around.
I think we were in the middle of the Mad King's Gambit, if I recall.
No, I think you were doing a Zimbalis.
You might be right.
So you've been at Tobias Station for 3 months. You don't have an exact time of death, but you would assume that he died a handful of months ago, so anywhere from like 4 to 6 months ago. was when he died.
Yeah.
So he's been dead since before you arrived into Bahara Station.
Right. Do you think Harry would know? I guess she would have told us.
She probably would have said something.
She probably would have said something to Salem.
Well, then the only other person we can ask, it seems to me, would be Salem himself. Can we vouch for when we arrived at Bahara Station? Is there anybody we can ask but Dr. Granger?
What's the question?
When Salem arrived?
No, when we arrived at
So we can
Bahara
prove that
Station.
we didn't kill him.
So that we didn't kill him, and we
Oh.
can help Salem, and he doesn't kill us,
Oh, well, I mean,
would be
like,
preferable.
He probably won't kill us himself. He'll
Right.
leave, and then a week later, a dozen Jimmies will show up in the night.
don't worry.
Knives.
There's an exit now through the ceiling. I can hold them off long enough. That's kind of the point.
You also have logs at the stable.
Okay.
When you
all right.
arrived, I forget who it was, but someone was given a receipt.
Certainly,
I think
I would keep that receipt for
Yeah.
use in a con later.
So you do have like it was like one of them had like a little like device on their hip that printed out a little thing that was basically your lot number, and that included the time and date of your arrival. Of course, it's been 3 months and you haven't had to pay stable fees for 3 months because you saved all the people in the stables. But if you think that you would have kept that receipt, that makes sense to me.
Yes, and so Clyde would have known,
Yes.
because he's the person that I checked in with.
So I think, absent the ability to like really further investigate who done it, the focus switches then to damage control. And I think we should try and make this body look as not fucked up as we can before Salem gets here.
How?
I don't know. I mean, he's wearing fungus-ridden clothes and has fungus all over him. Like, I've got pants and a shirt.
Do you think Salem would accuse us of removing evidence, or?
I think
can-
we just.
Bag
think
up
we
his
just
clothes or
leave.
something like that.
Sure. Yes, no, I am, absolutely. I think he will be shaken up.
Alternatively, and I hate to even suggest it, we could get in the car and drive away. It's very fast. It will be a long time before anyone catches us.
We do have a letter to deliver.
I don't know that that's best, but I wanted to put the option on the table.
I mean, we didn't kill him. And as long as no one knows before Bahara that this body is here, we are okay. So I guess we should maybe move. I know I hate to do it, move it through the kitchen, but I think we move it downstairs and open up.
And what happens when he gets here?
We close. I think people would like to clear out when a high-ranking member of the family arrives. I don't know. I running. We've already, like, I really don't want to go to the wastes, and we can't go back to the garden. And
Right.
And we could never. If we ran in this moment, I think we could never come back to Fort Dearborn safely. Fort Dearborn territory.
Sure.
And we're just
Okay.
marking like huge. I mean, I'm not opposed to running, honestly, but there are planes here. Like, your car's fast, but it's not faster than a plane. They could figure out where we're going and get there quicker.
I'd rather be given the chance to explain our situation than just be automatically pursued by the family for running in the first place.
I guess I just can't stress enough that we haven't actually done anything wrong.
Hmm.
And the risk isn't from the Canooms, I think, unless they were the ones who killed him. I think the risk is from whoever actually killed him. Right? Like, in the moment between in the moment between this having the body and it not having been seen by the Canoom family representative, there is this time period where the evidence could be destroyed.
Then I think we get Harry back here and have her go get Salem now. Unless anyone can think of anything we might find before now this evening.
I mean, I was hoping to hear back from Marshall Yen.
It's the first you heard of it, Kinsey.
I'm sorry, who?
Marshall Yen?
Did you bring? Are you bringing Marshall Yen here?
No, I just sent him an LRC.
Oh, okay. So like an anonymous LRC from one of the random tags that you grabbed.
I did use Miguel's.
So, all right. Is that the best idea?
Well, he let us go, and he gets in trouble if we're alive, right? So, and if we can get him more credit, why not? And you know, I mean, not that if it precipitates that way, I'm not saying that's like the plan to like have him come here and then like discover the body and then like you know, kind of like get really good credit and then like look really good and then like people are like, you are awesome, and who is this person who helped you? And no, she's really cute.
Okay, all right. But what if it doesn't follow that very specific progression of events?
Why do I think it doesn't do that?
No. What if it doesn't? What if instead he sees us with a dead body and decides to put us in the custody of the local authorities while he investigates it? You know, he is above all a marshal. I think we did have some good times back in the day, but he's committed to the law, I think.
Well, I think, to be fair, he's a marshal out of Alonstead, so unless he weirdly was next door, I don't think he's getting here for at least a week or two.
I mean, he could potentially like fly, but like
we're not that big a deal.
No.
All right.
Well, and also I just don't think he's coming here. I just, you know, if he did.
Right. Okay.
But no, I just literally all I did was like, hey, do you have any information about this guy? That's all I sent him. And that's all.
I really hope this body doesn't.
Why are you so high strung? It's fine that I just
don't. No, I'm sure it's fine. No, I'm sure it's fine. We have a lot of pots on the fire, you know.
So nice, and he's so
I'm just not
cute, and I
thrilled about it.
I think he's gonna help us.
Fine.
I'm gonna go
Fine,
check
okay.
the LRC. No, I'm going.
You're gonna go check the LRC again?
I'm mostly just leaving.
Okay. First off, everyone can have a grit for excellent RP. Pax, do you leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless stop.
Unless someone's yeah, I mean she's got a little bit of time between the bar and the door to be stopped, but she does begin to leave.
I'm not going to physically restrain Pax in any world.
She leaves.
As she's leaving, I'm just gonna be like, Pax, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to look at it from all angles.
Door shuts.
Stand on the other side of the door.
Should
Well-
I go after her?
God, there's so much going on contained within this 15 by 15 foot bar. And usually, Kinsey, I have the capacity to sort of troubleshoot these interpersonal squabbles. And right now, I just need a drink. I'm gonna have a drink, and I'm not gonna answer your question.
All right, right, okay. I'll go after Pax.
Okay, so Kinsey leaves. Also, Dan, take another grit. That is such a fantastic response. You Pax, you haven't gone very far.
Yeah.
Kinsey, you catch up to her extremely easily.
No, Pax. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that I am not as socially graceful as I should be, perhaps, in this situation, but I don't think that we can solve this problem without all three of us working on it. Roland's back at the bar. If Roland is overwhelmed with something, there is absolutely no chance of me being able to deal with it, especially without you.
Okay.
So if you need to take a moment and go and check the LRC, I understand.
No,
Just
it's been like 20 minutes and it's the middle of the night. I say.
Um,
I mean, maybe
that
not in
was my thoughts
Nevada's
as well.
dead. I don't know what the time difference is, but
Hmm. Do I know what the time difference is, Tommy?
You're on opposite ends of the planet.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like so it's like the middle of the day there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the middle of the day for him, so maybe he's having lunch or working, I suppose.
oh. Well,
Just if you go, you need to come back. That's all I'm saying, because we need you, and I certainly need you.
okay. Well, did you want me to find Harry, or
Sure, yes. I guess I could.
I don't know that I actually can. I haven't figured out where she lives yet, but actually, yeah, no, I'll just come back after. Maybe I'll just go check the LRC really quick, and then
Fine. All right.
and then I'll come right back. And also, you should check the vents, just the ones leading into the bar. I mean, our building, the whole, all of them, in the bedroom, in the kitchen, in the main bar. Check them. I feel like there's like a 20% chance that Harry is listening to.
Okay. Does she?
Yeah,
She
but
knows about the fence then.
Well, I mean, she's seen me crawl up into them, and
That's fair.
and that I've been cleaning them, and also I've seen her in there before doing other stuff. Don't tell her that.
No, of course.
but she might be listening, which would be okay, but just, like, she doesn't have to spy. She could
just be part of this, I think, yes. Would be better for us to be straightforward with her, probably.
Yeah. Also, she doesn't know about the whole revolution thing because I'm trying to soft roll that in. So just,
Yeah, at first glance, I would say she would absolutely go for it, but, perhaps not. I think she's pretty comfortable with her position in the family. But yes, I'll check the vents and make sure that she's not there. And if she is, I'll just tell her to come down for breakfast.
Okay. Yeah. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, and I'll make you breakfast too. Don't worry.
No, I'm really not hungry. But
no, please, I insist. You need to eat something. I don't see you eat enough. I'm worried about you. You need your energy.
I usually get breakfast from Wilma.
Oh, from that woman whose floors you sweep?
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, not today, obviously. I guess I'm not really hungry, but I probably should eat. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna...
All right, I'll do the...
Okay, also, definitely lock the door.
Right. And I'll keep the trap unset. Well, I guess you can hop over it, fine.
No, keep the trap...
Keep it set. Understood.
And also maybe have the door open to the basement. You could hide there if you can't get to the vents, I guess.
All right, that's fair.
Okay.
All right. Let me know what Marshal Lien says.
I mean, he's probably not gonna. Yeah, and yeah. So I guess I'll jog to the LRC station.
Okay. So Pax jogs off. Kinsey, you return to the bar. If you're going to be checking the vents, go ahead and roll an endure test for me. Or sorry, a negate test for me.
I've cleaned those.
Yeah.
Do we have I've talked to Dr. Granger, so I know about the danger of the of the mold and things. Do we have a mask, a filtered mask that I could wear?
It depends. I mean, I know Pax has been using hers. I don't know if she has that in a communal space.
It's actually Roland's, so it is.
Oh, it is. We have a group filtration mask. One of you can have it.
It's explicitly the worst use of it. We share it with everyone, but been working on other things.
He's busy.
Yeah, so Kinsey, roll. What is the quality of your filtration mask, Roland?
Tommy, I don't own anything I've made for myself that is anything less than excellent quality.
That makes sense. I didn't know if you made it. So
No, I think I got it out of character creation, so I sort of made it.
Sure. All right, so that's going to give you a +1 reliability to this negate test, and it's going to give you a +1 to your skill. And there's no negative modifiers or anything because Pax has done a thorough job cleaning this part of the vent.
I think it also gives you an automatic hit.
It does. It does give you 1 automatic success against airborne toxins, which this exactly is. Pax, you jog back to the LRC tower. You slot in Miguel's chip, turn it on, hit refresh. No response.
I put in shows. I take all the LRC towers of the Dead Man's Gang, just in case.
Sure. Which LRCs do you have from the Dead Man's Gang? I know you have Miguel's. Do you have Cho's? Because she died on Gati land. I don't think you had a chance to loot her.
No, I don't think I have Cho's. I do have Sierra's because I stole it when I stole or no, I don't have Sierra's.
Yeah, you don't
because
have Sierra's.
I took the quiver instead of the.
I suppose you would have Rosa's, because you did kill Rosa.
I have Rosa's and Miguel's and Bo's and
because
Rufus.
Sure.
Yeah,
you have Rufus
in the tunnels.
Yeah. Did you have time to loot Maddie? I don't know.
Hmm.
Or the Madman. Either way, yes, you slot them all in. You get to Rufus's, you slot it in, and it just says there's a message sent from that LRC tag to itself, and it says "See you soon."
Oh my god. What
That's,
the fuck?
that's for later. I share that later.
Otherwise, no responses or any other correspondence.
And then I just like one last time put in Miguel's just in case.
Refresh. Nothing.
God damn it. You don't like me. And I returned to the bar.
Okay. Kinsey, how'd you do on your negate roll?
Would you believe I got 4 hits on my negate roll?
Ooh.
Right. And I
Very
only
nice.
rolled 2 dice for it, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you are fine. The filtration mask does its job. You are tough enough to be okay. You do a check on all the vents. It doesn't. You're a very good tracker. You don't see any sign of passage or anything like that. You're pretty confident that if Harry was listening in, it was not through the vents.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, no sign of anyone being in the vents besides you guys.
And then I'll get started on breakfast for us.
Sure. Yeah. What I have you roll before?
Oh, you. That was a great question. I think it was it lore? It was survival, I think.
I gave you a bunch of different options. Yeah.
Oh man, am I super good at breakfast?
If you have a recipe.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a recipe, it's lore, right?
Yeah, go
And
for
then
it.
survival's more if I like am in.
I think it ended up
Wow.
being an attribute only, wasn't it? Wasn't it an attribute only for tenacity?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, all right. I think that's right.
Yeah. It was either we distilled it down to an attribute only test because the skill doesn't really fit, and we decided it was tenacity because you were just really determined to make good food.
Good breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day.
Yeah, it was either personality if you're like really bringing some flair to it, reasoning if you just know a recipe very good, and tenacity if god damn it you're making breakfast.
I think it's definitely one of those situations. Come on now. Well. That's fine. I am going to play to the gallery on this. Because it's important, damn it.
Okay.
That helps me to count my 13. Which is 3 hits on this breakfast.
Hey. Yeah, you make an exquisite breakfast. Savory with a little bit of spice, with like a little side dish that has like just a little bit of sweetness to it. It's very good. Pax, you get back. The bar, surprisingly, with a dead body sitting in it, smells great. because Kinsey is cooking. Roland, what have you been doing during this time?
I have made myself a long harbor iced tea.
Stop.
Yeah.
Taken that drink, and I've sat down at the card table, and I'm drinking that drink while I play solitaire.
Pax, you return. You hear the sound of cooking and humming in the kitchen as Kinsey is making breakfast. Roland has a tall drink in front of him and is just flipping out cards and putting them in certain spots.
Okay. I walk back.
and right over there, not very far from Roland, is the dead body of Ephraim. Just fucking rigor mortis, like decayed.
Like mummified
Yeah.
grossness. Yeah. Yeah, so I am going to walk through the kitchen and grab my gear and load up and sit like set up like in a chair in front of the door. I've got like my shield right like within reach, and I've got my guns in reach, and like if someone is coming in and they're coming through the door, they're gonna have some trouble. Well, like 10 feet back or something, like,
Arm the trap, that kind of thing.
yeah, like there might not be trouble.
But if there is, you're gonna shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got like one of the like a table, and like you're sitting on a chair. You got a table with like the shield and Miguel's gun like leaning up against it, and you got all your gear. You're ready. You're sitting and staring at the door. Roland, you're finishing up your Ion Harbor iced tea, and yes, and you're flipping over cards. Kinsey, you come out with breakfast. Very delicious breakfast. Roland, it is somewhat refreshing. It doesn't like pair with your drink, but like after drinking that much alcohol, getting this kind of like very greasy, delicious breakfast is very nice. And Pax, it gets set down next to you, and Kinsey, I assume, stares at you until you take a bite. It's very good. Yeah, she takes a bite without looking. And it is good, though. It is very tasty. I can't stress it.
And I'll sit down at the bar and eat my breakfast as well.
Okay, is your plan just to like stay up overnight watching the door and then wait until basically Salem shows up?
I'm not going to be able to sleep. How about the rest of you?
I mean, I was gonna go to bed. Right. I don't have more to say. I'm taking for breakfast. I'm going to go to bed. We should put a sheet over the body.
Have we not done that yet? Oh no.
Roland says like clawing the top of the glass of his drink. He says that kind of lazily, pointing at the body, and like sets the drink behind the bar without washing it, and walks back to the bedroom.
I think somewhere in the bar there is a tasseled wall hanging, and I'll just pull that down and cover up the body with it.
Nice. Perfect. So yeah, you lay that over. Pax and Kinsey, if you're staying up overnight, monitoring the door, I need you both to roll an endure test. It could also be a discipline test. I'd allow either, given the emotional charge of the situation. Discipline
This
or
is-
endure. To resist
is a-
fatigue.
Fatigue, perfect.
God, I'm so bad at both of these. Whatever. If I fall asleep, I'm just gonna end up accidentally shooting someone. It's fine.
Hopefully not me.
Ah, come on! Go. No, I'm gonna leave the gallery.
You guys are giving me so much grit.
Give it to me if you can.
I gave you an extra.
Yeah, but like, I need a lot of grit for the days to come.
All right, so if I get one auto hit fatigue and a success, and on my re-roll, I got a 20. Is that still a misfire, even though I've rolled 3 times?
Misfires. First off, your auto success doesn't contribute to doesn't matter for the misfire. It's only the dice, and it's only the first roll. Any re-rolls or anything do not do misfires. It's straight up the first roll determines whether or not you misfire.
You can't reliability into a misfire, which is good.
Yeah,
That's really good. Yes.
Thematically very funny if you could, though.
This gun is very reliable. Oh So Kinsey, how many successes did you roll?
Oh, that's 2 altogether.
Okay. And Pax?
3.
Okay. So Kinsey, you take 1 direct to hit point damage.
Okay, fair enough.
As Pax is very alert, sitting right there. Kinsey, you are also very alert, but you know, Pax, you got a few years on Pax, and it's just not the same. You know, if when you were Pax's age, you know, staying up all night and staring at a door with a gun in your hand was just, you know, was nothing. It was,
of course.
yeah, you did that every Sunday. But now. You're getting on in your years just a little bit, and you're starting to feel it as you know your back, like the stool, just isn't comfy. You have to like get up off the stool for a bit to like stretch your back, whereas Pax is just sitting there like relentlessly staring at this thing. However, unless Dan protests because he will be left out, I will require Pax and Kinsey to roll shoot the shit for staying up together all night.
Great.
Do it, cowards. You won't.
Wow.
Okay. Man, we just made up after having a fight.
I know, we did so well.
We did so good.
You did a great job, but the thing is, like, you are alone in a room in silence.
Right.
For
We're not alone. Ephraim is here.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, man. I just thought of a thing that I would like to do, Tommy.
Sure.
I'm consuming a tech cube.
Okay.
I make a memory foam pillow.
Oh, okay. You do.
This is the best pillow I've ever slept on.
Yeah, you get back, you look at your like lumpy pillow before you go to sleep, and you're like, that's not gonna do it. So you stay up for like
I'm talking to a member of the Kanoom family tomorrow. You're dead to me. And then I pull out a tech cube. And I sleep the sleepings. My hammock.
In your hammock, yeah.
Foam pillow.
I spent a grit to make my own luck so that I can have a success.
Okay. Kinsey has a
Nice.
success. Pax, what'd you roll?
3 successes.
Perfect. So we'll start with Kinsey. Kinsey,
Yes.
Pax gets to learn something about you. Or rather, Pax, if there's something you want to learn about Kinsey, you can angle for it. Either way. Either Kinsey's feeling talkative or Pax is feeling inquisitive, but one way or another, something about Kinsey is revealed. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Kinsey, you did this like when you were in the militia, right?
What? Wait for people to invade a space so that I could shoot them?
I mean, sure, but like, no, like, watch and like, like.
Oh, I've done my fair share of watches in the time, for sure. Not usually indoors. I mean, a lot of what the company did was trapping and hunting and pathfinding and discovering, guarding explorers and shipments and things like that. But indoors is a very particular experience because I just have one thing that I'm watching for rather than a bunch of things that could happen in any direction.
Well, I mean, like, one thing you're watching and then, like, multiple things you're listening.
Sure,
for.
right.
Yeah, okay, cool.
That
And
makes
then,
sense.
and I guess, like, you don't really talk about, like, yourself in the past tense at all,
True.
but, like, you specifically don't really talk about your time with them. Why?
I suppose.
Were they bad people? Did you not like who you were when you were with them? Is it just it was really boring? Or is it there's a heartbreak situation where you fell in love with your captain, but you weren't able to be together because the rank differences and your pet died.
And, nothing so romantic as that. I mean, you have your interpersonal things and such, and I suppose I've had a handsome captain or two, but no, it's just it was an interesting time for me. I really don't care for the wastes in general. It's kind of a hot and dreary and melty kind of thing, and that's where we ended up spending most of our time. I mean, a lot of what Fetson did depend on Snollygoster hide. So, I just don't. If I think about it too much, I get sicky,
Yeah.
You think about the humidity, and it's just. And then, in the middle of that, you're wrestling a Snollygoster and trying to knock it out so you can strip its hide. I mean, it's not. I don't want to say sporting, because that implies that I kill things for sport rather than for survival, but it's not. It's not fun to kill something for economic means, Of course, you kill for meat, and you hunt and you trap for survival for yourself, but trapping for hides and for furs and for just the tertiary things and not being able to use every single part as much as you want to, and having quotas, oh my god, quotas, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant, and not for any traumatizing reason, just not fun. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And now, on the other hand, I have a relationship. Well, I have a friendship with an animal that cares for me, and we help each other out, and I'm not so much having to fend for myself against animals as so much as become part of an ecosystem, perhaps. Rather than being a damage to the ecosystem, I'm a part of it now. And I'm a part of your ecosystem, I suppose, and Roland too. I mean, we've kind of created our own little herd, I suppose.
I'm going to take that how you meant it and not how it sounded.
What do you mean? How does it sound?
Nope, that's a trap. Nope, that's a trap.
So, no, trust me, I know my traps, okay? I'm just asking a question. You're my friend, and there's honestly nothing I value so much as an intactness of one's primal instinct, right? So us as a herd, as a group, it's a very strong natural bond.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that we're family.
Yes, I suppose I am.
Yeah. And
In a
not
socioeconomic
mindless
kind of way.
animals scrounging around trying to eke out existence and failing as we die to predators one by one. So
I mean, with that too, but I see what you're saying.
right. We're just family doesn't have to be like, blood relations, right?
No.
This feels like
No,
an
no,
excellent opportunity to point out, Pax, you got 3 successes, which means Kinsey and Pax, you bond over something.
So, like, you don't. So, like, I don't know. That's what I would say. If we were like more like family than like
Then
friends. I mean, you could be
just-
both, right?
Oh,
You
so
think
both family and friends? I mean, I would hope so. I consider you a friend, Pax.
good. Yeah, because like I don't have any friends
No, me either. Trust me.
or any. I figured that, and then or family. Like like you found your mom, and like you have a sister you get to know, and like you got to wipe your dad off the face of the earth, which was nice, and
It was.
and then like you probably have that like homestead family too, if you ever went back to the garden and wanted to see them, and then you've got the whole like nomad pack basically, so that's like really nice, and like Roland never talks about him at all. I'm not even really sure that Roland is his actual name.
It probably isn't, right?
But
I
it's
mean,
like his chosen name, so I've never asked.
Sure.
But like, yeah, because like, when I went into servitude, I like all of my friends were like, oh, well, your mom was a bad person, so like we'll never see you again, bye. And then my dad died, which is
Right.
why I could burn that MRF in the ground and get out, because it was totally unfair. So it's not always unfair. There were some, anyway, I'm not going to get into it. But basically it's about like the choice, right? And you get to, Roland can choose what his name is, and I get to choose to like be where I want and do what I want, and to help all these other people, and they can choose to accept my help, and I can choose that you guys are my friends and family.
In a lot of ways, the choices you make are much more important than the circumstances you're born into, I think. And that's what makes a family you choose such a strong bond, because you do it on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I've never asked Roland anything about himself, because he's chosen not to share anything ever, except for that he has a fake degree, which I always wonder though. Do you know anything about Roland?
I guess I've never really thought about it.
I think about it all the time. I just said total.
Yeah, I know that he used to be a teacher, right? But
Right,
every
but
time he says that, he's not like,
Yeah.
I wasn't really a teacher, but I was a teacher, like.
Right, because he was teaching.
I'm a doctor,
he
but not that kind of doctor, and even not really that kind of doctor, so
Yeah.
who can follow?
I mean, yeah. So, like, because he does all the things that he, like, pretends that he can
Oh,
do.
right, yes, no, I mean,
So,
he's
like-
definitely educated of some sort.
Right.
What do you think his name was?
I don't know.
He's always struck me as a Chester.
No.
Don't you think?
At this moment, this is well into the morning, almost afternoon time, where you guys have been up all night. You're very slap happy. And right as you suggest that maybe Roland's name is Chester, Roland, you step into the proper saloon, having rested, and both of them look at you.
Good morning. Afternoon, I guess.
Morning.
Good morning, Roland.
Afternoon.
Right.
I'm gonna
how'd you
make
sleep?
coffee. Did you guys
Oh
not
my God,
make
sounds
coffee?
so good.
How
What?
did you not make coffee?
Oh, I don't actually know how.
It's just
I just
beans and
didn't think
water.
of it.
And Roland makes coffee. And just as Roland's finishing up the coffee, passing it out, it's refreshing for Kinsey and Pax as you both were flirting with flagging. There's a knock on the door.
I thought you were about to say, and that's where we'll take a break. You have
Yeah,
the
that's what I was so expecting.
face.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go see who it is.
Okay. Roland, you walk up, open up the door.
Well, no. Hold on. That implies the door is open much more than I think it would.
You do the same thing Kinsey did, where it's like, you look through, you see a man with broad shoulders in a very nice suit and a fine hat, almost as fine as your Homburg hat. Look at you. He's got like a toothpick in his mouth, and he pulls it out. And he like kind of glances at the room behind you, kind of sees like the form of like Pax sitting there, and he goes, "Hey,
Can I help you?
yeah, I'm with Salem Bahara. I
Are you
understand.
Salem Bahara?
No, but I understand you're expecting him.
Well, that seems like it would be his business, and you would know if you were associated with him, and he sent you.
He did. I'm here to make sure it's safe. I understand you got a dead friend of his. I'm here to make sure everything's fine. Name's Jimmy.
Hello, James.
Mind letting me in?
I'm just gonna do like the quick mental math on this person. Pax would win in a fight, yes?
It might be a fight, but the fact that you also have you and Kinsey in there, you think you like if it's just this dude, you three could probably take him.
Great. All right, James, you may come into our bar.
I appreciate it. He takes off his hat. You open the door the rest of the way. He pulls the toothpick out of his mouth. He walks in and goes, "Nice place. Not sure about the decor, though," he says, gesturing to the dead body.
Well, we're trying it out, see how it looks. I think it might play come winter.
He smiles at that. And he goes, "You two can stand down," to Kinsey and Pax, because, they're armed and waiting. Not going to cause any trouble, are you?
We only give as good as we get, so it depends on you, I guess.
All right. Do any of you intend harm to Salem Bahara?
No.
Okay.
I mean, again, if he attacks us.
Right. But you're not planning on ambushing Salem Bahara or anything. This is not a moment
No.
where, as this guy tries to get a read on you, any of you are trying to hide the fact that you plan on like attacking or kidnapping or otherwise harming Salem Bahara, right?
Nah, I'd take him from his home.
then none of you need to roll. As he kind of eyes you over and goes, all right then. And he steps back, does a little like whistle with 2 fingers, and then he leaves. And a few moments later, you see walking down the hall another man. He's got a beautiful brown skin, a very cleanly kept beard that has just a couple speckles, like a couple, like just a peppering of gray in it, mostly at the chin part. But the rest of it just like slightly black, like mostly black, but a little bit gray. But the chin is pretty gray. As he walks through, he's got a very clean hair, no hat on. He's wearing a deep green and brown suit with a ribbon tie at the neck that is made of exquisite material. You assume a Lonestead weave. As he walks in. And like stops. I assume, I don't know if any of you are at the door watching, or if you're just waiting inside the bar watching the door.
I'm near the door.
So he stops and sees you, and like he looks like very composed, but a little tense. And he goes, "I am Salem Bahara. What is your name?"
Roland Hollis.
He reaches out a hand to shake yours.
I shake his hand.
I appreciate you inviting me to your saloon. May I come in?
Please, be our guest.
He walks in, door shuts behind, and he sees Kinsey, he sees Pax, and then his eyes glide over to the covered body of Ephraim. That's where we're going to take a break. We will be back in about 10 minutes. My clock reads 9:58, so we'll be back around 10:08. All of you watching, go grab yourself a drink, a new snack, and we'll be back and see how Salem Bahara takes confronting the corpse of his dead friend. Everything's going to be great. Everything's all right.
It's so great. So great.
Oh, yeah. All right, we'll be back.
Bye.
And we're back. All right. So, when we last left off, these three drifters had invited Salem Bahara of the Kanoom crime family into their saloon to inspect the body of his long-lost friend, Ephraim, somebody who these three didn't kill at all, but did find.
Why would you say it like that?
Salem stands there. He's almost as I guess just like a little bit shorter than you, Roland. He stands there, sees the covered up body, takes a deep breath, and then goes, turns to Pax and Kinsey and goes, "I am Salem Bahara. What are your names?"
Kinsey McCharlotte.
Jane. You can call me Jane.
As you wish. Please, tell me how you found him.
That was me. We're doing some work cleaning the vents because they're not in great shape. And that's where he was. And it took a little bit of time to get him out of there. Because there's some nasty stuff in there. Yeah.
Did you learn anything else?
He was poisoned.
By whom?
We don't know.
I see.
He was in there for like a couple of maybe 4 or 5 months.
At least.
He takes a few steps towards it and gestures to the body. May I?
Please.
He walks up, stops and hesitates just for a moment before reaching out his hand and pulling the cloth down to look at the decayed face. He stares at it for a second and then folds the cloth back down, kind of laying his hand on the forehead of the body. And he goes, "Who else knows about this?"
That there's a body, or who it is, who we think it is. I guess.
Both, I suppose.
Everyone in this room and the young woman who told you.
Oh, and there's a drunk named Eli who may or may not know that there was a body involved, but I don't believe he knows who it could be.
He takes a few steps away, looking poised as if in a negotiation. He goes, "This Eli, can you control who he talks to?"
I think he mostly talks to us, but I can certainly I can inspire him to maintain a certain secrecy.
What does he do?
Do you know, I've never asked him.
He's the neighborhood drunk, by and large.
Ah. No one else. Harry tells me that the three of you are good people. As far as people can go in the Badlands. 3 capable drifters is the way she put it. Are you capable?
Of what?
I need to know what happened to my friend. The fewer people know that he's found, the more likely it is we can find out what happened. The way I see it, Alana has delivered the 3 of you here in order to continue forward and find out what has happened for my friend. I can pay, if need be, for your services. And he reaches into his jacket and pulls out like small like leather pouch and like sets it down. You'd guess there's probably about 20 to 30 spurs in that pouch.
For the sake of our ensured safety, I feel compelled to ask you, would this be a job we are doing for you, or a job we are doing for the Canoom family?
That is a simple sounding question, but the answer is far from simple. You are doing this job for me, given that I do not know who I can trust. There are many people who I do business with, both within and outside of my own family, who could find motivation to end this beautiful man's life. I need to know who did it, all parties involved, so that I can take action. The 3 of you here, as far as I have heard, run a successful saloon, quite nice for the lower levels. You're in the excellent position of not being attached to me in any way whatsoever, with the sole exception of your choice in bartenders. If you're able to find out what happened to my friend, I can reward you. It is very important to me.
Would you trust us if we didn't take your money?
I would be intrigued, to say the least. But refusal of spurs is not a cause to mistrust someone, should they have a good reason. What would your reason be?
If I may. As you pointed out yourself, we run a successful saloon. So the spurs are nice, but ultimately not something we're currently wanting for. I suspect what you can offer that we would want is more intangible.
He glances towards the bar and goes and walks behind it. Starts making himself a drink slowly. Do then enlighten me.
Dan can tell that Pax wants to say something, so I assume that Roland can tell that Pax wants to say something. Can I tell what Pax wants to say?
I don't know. She's definitely, you can, I mean, because you know her, right? She's definitely, you see that she's definitely uncomfortable with taking payment ahead of accomplishing the job. And you have known previously that she's not really interested in being involved with any family, right? Because even when it was in the garden, she was like not really on board. So, like, she doesn't necessarily know what she wants to say, but Roland is definitely smart enough, both
To like know what
socially
her qualms are.
yeah.
Great. To be perfectly honest, right now, there's not much we want for. But at some point, I suspect you will be in a position to help us out. If we can solve this mystery for you, I would like a favor.
Dealing in favors is risky business. The scale of any favor I'd be willing to give is not a quantifiable sum. Are you willing to potentially not be able to collect on what you believe is due?
I'm not particularly worried about finding something that we might need that you are willing to help with.
Then I see no reason to mistrust you. You need not take the spurs. He finishes his drink, takes a sip of it, sets it down, taps his finger on the lip of the glass, and he goes, "This gin is awful. He slides it away and goes, "In a show of good faith, allow me to arrange for you to have better stock."
I don't think that will be necessary.
Why don't we wait for payment for services rendered? And then, if you still got a mind for it and you'd like to be generous, no one owes anyone anything until the culprit is found.
He cracks a tired looking smile. And he sets his hands on the bar and he goes, "You three seem nervous. Is this your first time?"
No, that's the problem.
Ah. Well, allow me to assure you. The offer of better gin to serve, should I ever have to set foot in here again, comes without strings attached. Harry speaks highly of you. I trust her judgment. I believe the three of you might just be what I need here in Tobias Station. I understand you have a problem with authority.
It's sort of a prerequisite of being a drifter.
Quite so. I don't know who to trust, whether it be Sheffield, Acosta, Gatti, O'Malley, or even Morales. I need to know. I need 3 people who are willing to make enemies in order to find out what I want to know. Have I come to the right people? If not, I can compensate you for the information you've given me, and our business can be concluded.
I would like to fact check that.
Sure. How's that?
I need to know if he's lying.
Sure. Well, which part?
That he would pay us for the information and our business would be concluded.
Oh, sure.
I'm legally required to ask, though I know the answer is no. Has my dress impressed him?
Are you wearing the Homburg?
Tommy, it scans people's faces so that I can use them later. Of course I'm wearing the Homburg.
You are dressed to impress. It is a very fine hat. You are up against a 13.
Dang. Well, I have a 13.
Okay. So, you're not... The one thing you know for sure, whether or not he is telling the truth about his intention, you know, regardless of if he's telling the truth or not, you are now on his radar. And so, maybe he comes back and tries to lord something over you later about this. Maybe he doesn't. But no matter what, you know that you are now a known entity to a high-ranking member of the Kanoom family. And that can always come back.
Yeah, I mean, I already didn't super duper feel like we were in a position where we were being asked to do a job so much as told to do a job. But no, you've come to the right place.
Excellent. I do appreciate your willingness to speak to me. If you've had previous entanglements with the family before, I understand how difficult something like this could be. 3 capable drifters such as yourself could easily have coerced or dispatched of Harry, disposed of the body in your very special plant, and gone about your business without ever drawing attention. The willingness to speak to me face to face is something I admire. Truly. And he steps back around from the bar, and he nods and goes, "Find out what you can about Ephraim's death. If you have any questions, now would be the time."
Did
Who
you
was
love
he
him?
to you? Okay.
Perfect.
Kinsey looks at both of them like, very personal.
It matters.
He turns to Pax. "Yes, quite dearly. He didn't deserve this."
Who knew?
I suspect many people assumed. If you're asking who I spoke with about it, no one.
Why?
It was already bad enough. me spending time with a member of the militia, high-ranking, ear to the governor, sworn to uphold the law if need be, protector of the factory town's desires. There is no need for me to share that with anyone.
I apologize if this is offensive to you, but it informs an investigation.
I understand.
Your relationship was only personal, never professional?
Correct. We knew who each other were. We never worked together on anything. He never asked me to walk a different path, and I never did him. We transcend the lives we're born into.
What is there anything that happened like 4 or 5 months ago? Did something change for he disappeared? Did you make did you take action on something? Make anyone particularly angry in the months preceding his disappearance?
No. Not particularly. Business was operating as usual. I suppose his movements were not always known. Part of having a bit of a target on your back, I assume. He was a scout, you see. He would go out alone for months and months at a time, finding new paths, new areas to set up garrisons for the militia. His whereabouts were never quite public knowledge. Though I suppose one thing I assumed led to his disappearance might have been that Fort Dearborn announced that they were going to be trailblazing new paths through the Cloudbreak Mountains to further secure their northern borders. The governor and the militia are always concerned every year or two about the fact that they don't own any territory in the Northern Pole, and at any point a threat could come from there, or they need eyes on it. Fort Dearborn is quite paranoid. I suppose someone who knew of Ephraim and his prodigious skill would easily be able to assume that he could be found in the Cloudbreak Mountains at that time. Now, how he ended up here, in Tobias Station, well, it's quite perplexing to me. Last I had heard, he was leaving for the mountains. He had no cause or reason to come here.
Leaving from Fort Dearborn?
Yes. I knew he thought of Tobias Station as somewhat of a safe haven for him. He would come through from time to time to resupply. He always seemed to refer to it as a place where he felt secure. But apparently, that was less of a sure thing than he believed.
Who was he close with here? If he was staying here with someone, who would he have stayed with?
Well, there is an inn in the station. It tends to offer lower rates for militiamen. It's called the Jade House. It's in the central levels. If he was staying here for some time, I would assume that was where. Though I checked with them, and they seem to have no record of him being here any time near his death. Something I found quite odd. But my ability to investigate this without drawing attention, of course, is limited.
And you wouldn't be here had anyone made threats, overtures, or anything like that, right?
No, whoever did this seemed not inclined to let me know. If I were to venture a guess, whoever did this is someone who has grown tired of looking over their shoulder for me to betray them through the militia.
Who, in your mind, stands to benefit most by you? Frankly, who benefits most from your pain?
There are a handful of people, to be sure. My close friends within the business, my family. You only got one success to read them, right? Yeah.
Well, that was on specifically to check if he was lying. I was going to at some point use the empathetic talent.
Yeah, go for it. This is a perfect opportunity.
I forget. Is it manipulate or just personality?
I believe it is just personality.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here in a second. Yeah. That's 4 hits.
So he is, one thing you get from him is he is extremely good at compartmentalizing. He is standing in a room with the body of the former love of his life, it seems. And he is accustomed to pain and he's grown the skill to completely compartmentalize any emotions he has in order to conduct business, which is what he's doing now. He is allowing you guys to question him so that he can hopefully set you on the right path. However, you do sense that he is withholding from you. So you got 4 successes. It's something that you get the sense that there is something that he doesn't like he obviously has investigated this himself, right? To the degree that he can without drawing attention. And apparently he seems to have someone in mind, but he doesn't want to bring himself to admit that he suspects this person.
Oh, well, there's a reason I have the gambler talent. You push your luck despite a clear chance to fail. You have someone in mind.
I beg your pardon?
You're thinking of someone right now, and you don't want to say their name, but you think they did it.
Roland, my good man. Are you accusing me of subterfuge? Are you calling me a liar?
No, I'm accusing you of grieving.
A slight smile curls on his lip as he lowers his head. Well, I suppose the three of you are quite capable. My thoughts upon Ephraim's disappearance couldn't help but drift to my good friend, Severina Acosta. We grew up together. When our parents would do business, we would play in the yard. Different families, but families forge alliances, and our friendship was true. The one thing we could never see eye to eye on was my relationship with Ephraim. Costa is strong, determined. She always accused me of having too soft a heart, and she was quick to blame Ephraim for allowing such weaknesses to cultivate. I thought perhaps she was behind his disappearance. I looked into it as subtly as I could. I found no evidence. Nothing to connect her to Ephraim's disappearance. I'd love to be wrong. For if she killed Ephraim, then I will lose my two dearest friends instead of just the one.
Thank you for answering our questions. I think I've got everything I need to get started.
Well then, he puts his hat back on his head, kind of pulls the brim down a little bit. You may reach out to me through Harry. She is cunning and can avoid detection. I will be taking the body, of course.
Of course.
And thank you again. Let me know when you found something. And let me know when you'd like me to buy you a better barrel of gin. And he walks over to the door, taps his knuckle on it 3 times, and then opens it. And there's Jimmy. All done, boss? Our business is concluded, yes. See to it that his body is taken from the station discreetly. Would you, Jimmy? Sure thing, boss. Come on, fella. and another member of the family walk in. They pull out a little stretcher, put the body on, lift it up, and look to the three of you. And one of them goes, "This is much better than Finnegan's place."
We should hope so. We put plenty of work into it.
And they start walking out. They leave ahead of Salem, who turns back one more time, takes a moment to like look at the three of you, and then he just tips his hat, steps out into the shadowy hallway, and the door shuts behind him.
Well, all right then. I'm gonna make another Long Harbor iced tea, I think.
While you're at it, could you make one for me as well?
Sure. Pax?
No, thanks.
Pitcher of Long Harbor iced teas. Got it. Okay. Well, a couple things come to mind, I say, as I start just pouring booze into a pitcher.
I turn on the jukebox.
Unbeknownst to the rest of you, does Bobby Klein's? Yeah. Bobby Klein's song kicks on. That goes. It's a much more somber Bobby Klein song, almost as if he's trying to affect Joey Rivers a little bit, but not quite. It's not like it's still like very much Bobby Klein, but like there is like just a little bit of like this is almost like bordering on Joey Rivers territory. But it's got a little bit more instruments to it than Joey Rivers' single guitar. But it goes, "There is a house in Fort Dearborn. They call the Rising Gun, and it's been the ruin of many a gambler. Alana, I know, I'm one." Anyways,
the better words that he could have used. What is this? It's not important. A couple things come to mind. First, I can see a world in which Severina Acosta has killed this man to harden Bahara's heart against the world. The fact that no one announced it or took credit or even threatened him behind the scenes makes me think that perhaps they didn't want Bahara to know that he was gone. Truly gone. The other thing that comes to mind is Ephraim was a Fort Dearborn militiaman. Someone might have killed him entirely irrespective of his relationship with Salem Bahara. Which, again, would support the no note or taking of credit. That's as far as I've gotten on this investigation.
Well, yeah. There's also, they could have wanted information and snatched him. Or he had a safe here, like a hidden cache. Or he could have or he could have discovered something he wasn't supposed to when he was packing up.
I think maybe the very interesting question is, why didn't Ephraim want Bahara to know that he was here? Why would he hide that information from Bahara? Why did he need to make this trip in secret?
I mean, they kept their professional lives separate. So, It could have just been like these were his like orders.
Sort of suggests that perhaps he wasn't here on leave or on his way somewhere else. If they didn't talk about work and he was here without telling Bahara, maybe here was his work.
So so the one other thing that I thought, which I don't know if you thought at all, but Salem Bahara feels like a loaded gun, and we can kind of point him anywhere, and we could point him to, you know, wherever we actually find as we're investigating, or somewhere else. And it's risky, right? Because if we did that, I'm not saying we should, but we should talk about it. And we were found out, that would be kind of the end of everything, probably.
Oh yeah, that's the end of us, I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, it's not jump to conclusions.
But if he didn't find out, it could be pretty great. Serve our purposes. But I don't love that. But, instead of him using us for his personal vendetta on however many people he should kill, there's also the option of we use him, I guess.
My vote would be we try to solve it before we lie to a member of the family. If we can't come up with any information, do what you will, obviously, but if we can tell him the truth, I think that goes further towards our future safety.
A couple of things. First, Pax, I'm extremely proud of you.
Of course.
Second, I am optimistic that whoever did this is tied up in some way to the power structure of Tobias Station, which we are trying to, as you so eloquently put it, tip over. That I think probably telling him the actual person will accomplish what we want and what you're suggesting. But I do agree we should keep in our back pocket the part where we lie and point the Kanoom family at someone else.
I'm worried if it's his Acosta friend. I'm worried that suddenly it becomes a bigger fight. One life for another, and it just becomes like this whole huge revenge thing. So it might not be her, and I guess we can't really change it if we're doing the whole actually trying to figure out what happened and stuff, which is fine. I'm not opposed.
I think regardless of what we do with the information, and I know I'm the first person to, put out there that we just go out and wing it and see how it goes and make it up as we go along. But I think in this delicate powder keg that is this mesa and station, we will be better served having all of the information before we decide to obfuscate it. Knowing who knows what, when, and how makes it incredibly easy to lie to them.
Sure. Okay.
Then where do we start?
I guess we probably have to open for the evening.
I mean, now that there's not a body in the corner.
We should
Might as
sort
well,
that
right?
table out.
Kinsey will start dragging the table into the back then.
Okay. I'll go find Eli, I guess.
If he says anything about a pipe bursting, keep him on that track.
I mean, yeah, that's what we talked about.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
If he says anything about a body, get him away from that track.
Okay.
Yeah, Pax, you're...
For different reasons. I'm also very proud of you.
Pax, so you head out. You guys are able to reach out to Hazel and Eugene, get them back in, and get the bar running again. Pax, you go out to find Eli.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're wandering around the lower levels. It's early. It's mid-afternoon at this point. It's around that time, though it's hard to tell in the lower levels. It's always dark and dreary down here. You pop around different saloons. You ask around just to let Eli know that you're back. You don't actually know where he lives. You don't see him around yet as you pop around, but I would love for you to roll an observe test for me.
Oh, no. I'm gonna kill this Jimmy so bad.
But which one?
It doesn't matter. All of them.
James is the thing. I super wanted to say like James, as they were leaving.
That would have been great. You are up against a 9.
I also have a 9.
Okay.
And nothing else. I have 1 9.
Okay. You think you're being followed. Hard to say for sure. It's very dark down here. Seems like right now is a high power day for the station, which happens from time to time where the lower levels, like the lights dim a whole lot because the power is being redirected to other parts of the station. So it must be a busy day.
Sure.
Yeah, it must be a busy day at the station, and the lower levels, of course, is suffering because of it. It's very dark, and you're wandering around in these tight, almost claustrophobic, dirty hallways to different saloons as you go up some stairwells and down as you move around within the lower levels to try and just like find where Eli is. And like you start off at first just trying to find that, and then you start realizing like every once in a while you keep thinking that you see someone out of the corner of your eye, and like you like every once in a while you hear movement behind you when you're walking, but then when you like stop and like go back to check, like no one's there, you're pretty sure you're being followed.
Great. I do the classic like turn a corner, like go up against the wall, wait for them to turn the corner, and then like be like ah and get them.
Okay. So you go ahead and like you duck around a corner and you wait and you hear footsteps approaching and you're like, all right, here we go. And I guess you're trying to like grab the person who's following you.
Yeah, if they turn the corner. If they don't turn the corner, if this is like a junction or whatever and they go straight, I'll just see who it is.
Right.
But if they turn the corner after me, then I'm gonna get them.
Yeah, they go to turn the corner. So go ahead and roll an unarmed test.
All right.
I think it's Harry. I hope it's Eli.
Right? Yeah,
I
absolutely.
had that same thought of like, what if Eli has been a spy this whole time?
Oh no, I don't think he's a
Oh.
spy. I think he's like trying to like
Pat.
find you to like
Just
give
really
the
wants
cup
to
back.
Pax,
Yes.
take 4 grit.
4 grit.
I'm
Jesus
bamboozling you 4 times.
He just wants to get the cup back for his 2 drinks.
Gosh dang it. Wait, you're bamboozling me how many times?
4, but you're not allowed to use that grit until.
No, I know.
Oh, what? You get an explosion because I gave you a -4?
Yeah.
Nice.
We rolled a 6. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be too low, but that's great. Now, if I roll a 7, I can play it in the gallery. And I have a reliability. Okay. No, I just have a 6.
You're up against 2 9s.
Aha! Well, I couldn't have beaten that when I was bamboozled.
So you're ready. Your heart's pumping. You don't know what's going on. You think it's a Jimmy. You're like, oh man, I can't believe I walked away that quickly. Obviously, Bahara's betraying us. Oh my god! Like you're like all the different scenarios are running through your head. You're ready. You get ready. You're like, I'm gonna get this person. I'm gonna get answers. Maybe this is the person who killed. Maybe this is it. Maybe I figured it out. Like you're like all these different scenarios are running through your head. And then a hooded figure comes around. Well, not like actually they are wearing like a straight up like a hood. And like they come around and you leap and they jump back and there's a bit of a scuffle and the lights like are like dim, but you do see the shine of a mechanical arm as it catches your wrist.
God, he was next door.
as it catches your wrist and like pulls it down, and then your other hand like gets caught by a human hand and pulls it down. And during the scuffle, the hood does get pushed back far enough that with your arms crossed in front of your body, you are face to face, almost nose to nose, with Marshall Leonard Yen.
Yes!
Oh my god.
He was next door.
The
God
whole
damn it.
time.
And he goes, "Hey, Pax."
Hi.
And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Holy shit.
Fantastic. All right. The giddiness within me when you were like, I don't know, unless he's next door. I was like, perfect. Okay. So,
manifested into being.
So I know we have 2 questions in the Discord, at least last I checked, though I did just now realize that my phone is in the room with Addie. So Addie, I believe it's the last 2 questions in the Discord.
No, why does your phone have all of the apps not in folders?
All right, I'll be right back.
No, I got it. I found it.
I have it immediately. We're on this call through Discord. I just went to the other tab.
I can't open it up.
He's got OBS, so he's got to.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, we don't have to do a whole rigmarole.
That's very funny.
The first one from one of our own deputies, Elity Nachos. What are the most popular vacation destinations on Manifest?
Ooh.
Freedom City?
It's gotta be, the city.
Or is it Liberty? Oh no, I get
It's gotta be both. They're so
No.
pretty.
There's one is right. Freedom City. Tommy.
What? Oh yeah, sure. Freedom City would make sense. Freedom City is sort of a blend between like Wall Street and Vegas. So there's a lot of things that are legal in Freedom City territory that are not legal in a lot of other territories. One of the most prominent things being basically fighting pits, like these gladiatorial rings. That's a thing that's pretty much either extremely regulated or completely like illegal within other territories. But Freedom City has a whole thing, like they have a whole like tournament circuit and everything throughout the settlements that then has like a championship within the factory town. So Freedom City definitely would be a place where a lot of people would go. I think also San Cordero probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You ever want if you want to watch
Cordero is like the. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it.
Yeah, San Cordero is the like entertainment and arts capital. So like while sort of like not necessarily highbrow, but like plays and like music and sort of traveling like carnivals and stuff like that always stop in San Cordero. It's always got the like newest shows and the best like operas and dances and it's kind of like Mardi Gras, but like most of the time.
There's also like San Cordero is one of the factory towns that has one of the things that's interesting about San Cordero is it has like effectively a settlement that isn't several miles away. There's plenty of settlements that are like within close proximity to factory towns, but San Cordero has one that's up against one of its exterior gates.
Yeah. So you don't actually have to pay the tax to get in.
Which is it's like it started off as like a commune of like a bunch of entertainers who couldn't get in because they couldn't afford the fee, and so they kind of just like set roots, and then someone propped up like a little like makeshift saloon, and then one thing led to another, and then all of a sudden it was a full-on settlement of like this kind of like
artistic community,
like a bohemian, like you know, like like there's a bunch of like people who are just there for the art. But you can get all sorts of fun shows. Also, San Cordero is home to the most moving picture theaters. On Manifest.
Nickelodeons.
There was that super nice hotel we stayed in right on the edge of the Salt Flats. And
at Hope's End.
People want to go out and look at the salt.
Yeah, you just want to stare into the abyss. Yeah, you want to stare into the abyss. That's in the garden on the northern end of the Great Salt Flats. There is Hope's End. It has an extremely nice resort. It's basically like a ski resort, but instead of skiing, it's just like very. Yeah, it's like a very existential like landscape to
look at. Arts people from outside San Cordero go when they need to go through their bleak period.
Yeah. There's plenty of galleries in San Cordero where there's somebody, like almost every gallery in San Cordero has some art, like some painting from some artist that is just like the landscape of the Salt Flats from the view of Hope's End.
And then the kind of like there's like many places, but I think the last one potentially that we'll mention, unless somebody has one that's really exciting, is there's like the racetracks at Glenspire. So there's like jackalope racing, and so there's a lot of people will travel there for like the event of the year, and there's like golf courses, and it's much more like pastoral than a lot of the other factory towns. So there's a lot of like, you know, farms and rolling hills and sort of like curated natural beauty that people can go and have the experience of sort of like an exciting entertainment, and then also, you know, go to their Airbnb and like hang out in their really nice backyard, basically.
Of course, these are all we're listing off places in factory towns, and factory towns are extremely expensive, and usually
I feel like maybe Waypoint is high up there for like adventure tourism.
Oh, sure.
You get a decent amount there.
I always thought Uphill would be a great place to have like a lot of like people go, but I don't have a reason why, just because I love the town of Uphill so much.
Yeah, I imagine Uphill potentially. No, Overlook is not a destination place.
No, it is not.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some settlements, but definitely like the big tourist places would. I mean, anyone who's doing tourism isn't like they're people who are from factory towns who are taking the high-speed rail to other factory towns, right? They're bouncing around those places and being like, you know, they're from Fort Dearborn, but they're going to go for a night on the town in San Cordero, maybe even step out into that settlement that's outside the city walls, and stuff like that for sure. Because people in settlements, they don't do tourism a whole lot. I mean,
There's
there's
a loaf of bread and a cow, and that's everything they own.
Not quite, but like, yeah.
in some settlements. Yeah. So, and then it looks like Argent actually copied and pasted his question from the Discord into the stream chat here. It says, I thoroughly enjoyed the vastly expanded answer given to building Captain America in Manifest. So, how about Solid Snake or Raiden from the Metal Gear Solid game series? And there's an addendum, but we'll get to that in a second. You could definitely make Solid Snake or Raiden in Manifest. That's for sure. You could do that.
Yeah, because like as long as you carry the box around, you've always got shadow
Yeah,
code.
absolutely.
And then they lift up the box and they see there's nothing under it. And they just set it back down.
It's
Yeah.
extra dark under this box. Wonder why.
There's a whole a whole track of talents in the subtlety talent tree that are specifically about sneaking. It even reaches the tier 4 talent, which just lets you just straight up once per rest per target, you get to just succeed at being hidden from them. So like playing through a Solid Snake, like through a Metal Gear Solid game as Solid Snake, right? You only interact with those people once ever, right? And so you're just like, I succeed against this guy. He walks by, I choke him out. I succeed against this guy. He walks by, I choke him out. Like that's straight up Solid Snake right there. And there's also like kind of a sneak attack type string of talents in the subtlety tree that give you bonuses for attacking people who don't know you're there. So Solid Snake very solidly exists within the subtlety tree. And Raiden definitely could.
He's the sword boy, right?
Yeah, he's the sword boy. He's the sword cyborg guy.
Yeah,
Assuming you're going with the more recent canon of Raiden and not Raiden, who's just kind of a replacement for Solid Snake, I assume you're talking about Super Samurai Sword Boy.
Yeah, you just get the brawn tree and the subtlety tree, and then another tree of your choice. You have all the trees you need.
And you there's cybernetics too. So if you pick a history that gives you enough spurs to spend on cybernetics, you can go all out on doing a Raiden thing. Though he starts getting a little crazy in Revengeance, if I recall. I don't know if you could do all of that. I don't know what he can do in Revengeance, but I know I've seen some clips and it's wild. But hey, if you get 5 successes on something, you could probably do a Raiden thing. And then the addendum was Kevin McAllister from Home Alone.
Just urbanite trapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
100%.
trapper. You gotta have that advancer trigger. A trap is utilized successfully and a predator is evaded. That's you
Patience
guarantee.
is rewarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, patience. Oh yeah, straight up trapper for sure. And there's a lot of grit and a lot of cubes, so that you can constantly flash back to having the most elaborate, ridiculous trap needed for the situation at hand.
And most of his traps are pretty low tech, so you can probably get away with just having good machinery.
Yeah.
Like, paint can on a string does not need a tech cube.
There was we had one playtester. Any of you who have listened to Essential NPCs would know him. His name is Sean Four. But
Been on this stream.
oh yeah, he has. We did the one shot with him. He was Schuster Gaines in the one shot episode.
Bring Schuster.
But he loved playing a trapper. He had a trapper that he adored playing, and he decided. He said multiple times that being a trapper in Manifest means always having 4 grit, so that you can flash back to have set up a trap for the situation. That was like his
having 4 grit and 3 cubes.
Yeah, it was like that was his solution to everything. He did what he needed to do to have 4 grit, and then he just kind of went forward with whatever he wanted to do. And then whenever it came up, he'd be like, 4 grit. There's a trap there. I put a trap there. And it was fantastic. I think it is a very solid strategy to playing a trapper. Yeah, cool. Any other questions in the Discord? I don't think there are.
No.
All right. I don't see any questions popping up in the stream chat. I will give the stream chat a moment if they want to post any questions as I look at the calendar to see when we're going to be on next. And that is September 8th, Tuesday, September 8th. We will be back with another episode. We'll be on episode 39 of this adventure with these three now kind of pseudo working for the family again.
God, we're gonna burn down this whole mesa.
Yeah.
It's not even my plan, but there just keeps being like more dry sticks added to this pile, and people running around with cans of gasoline and matches.
I really hope not, because it is on the official map of Manifest, and it would be a real bummer if it's on the map and we're like, but it burned down.
They're rebuilding it. I don't think we can actually destroy it physically. I meant like sociologically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I suppose no questions in the stream chat. So I think we're going to wrap it up for today. It's been great. We hope you all enjoyed it. We will pick up again next week. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you haven't already, smash that follow button, and if you want, smash that subscribe button. You got Amazon, do the Amazon thing to get a free subscription. You know the deal. We say it at the beginning of every stream. Thank you all so much.
Look for the quick start guide at the end of the week.
Yeah, coming out on Friday. Any of you who have pre-ordered or backed Manifest will get the expanded quick start guide with the higher level pre-mades. It's gonna be good.
There's cool stuff in there. I'm excited for y'all.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all so much. We will leave you with this beautiful song by our very own Seth Lilly, titled Waypoint. Goodbye. Goodbye.